I believe we are ready for Reed and Dolores, but Dolores apparently, you want to wait, Reed, and see if Dolores comes?
Let's take up a little bit of time, and I'll kind of explain to you where we're at. I don't think we'll be able to have answers without Dolores, though, so.
Okay.
So the new ambulance is getting closer. It's getting delivered from the factory May 11th out to Denver, and then they do some things out in Denver, and then it arrives here, so end of May, beginning of June. So I started the conversation with Dolores, making sure that the funds are wherever the funds need to be, and that kind of got us, I don't know if we know the answer to that question, and so we started, Carol, come on up. So Carol started doing some digging and we found the resolution to transfer the funds, but it doesn't look like the funds are in the county general grant fund. Is that correct?
That's correct. They did not get moved over, and they should have at the end of last year.
So where are they at now?
Right. I mean, that's my question.
And that's what we need Dolores for, is to know.
So if you need a copy, I just made one of the actual resolution, and the only question is where are the funds and how do I submit a voucher to pay out of that fund?
Yeah, you're right. We're going to need Dolores for that information. And those between Dolores and Scott.
And I mean, we do have some time, but I just wanted to make sure, since we're getting close to final invoices, that
All right.
we have some money to pay for.
Well, keep on top of it and let us know. Okay, ma'am.
Great. Awesome. Thanks for having me. It's good to see everybody. We have some new people today. Hi, I'm Vicki Huben.
Roger Faulkner.
Nice to meet you, Roger. Good to see you again. Hello.
Terry Wright.
I'm Vicki Huben. Nice to meet you again. And I usually bring law enforcement when I go, and today I have two, so I'm pretty excited about that. Good to see you. Good to see you. How are you? Okay, I'm going to just explain a little bit, since you're brand new, who we are and what we do and all that kind of stuff. I'm Vicki Huben, and I work with the Western Kansas Child Advocacy Center. What we do is we work with physically and sexually abused children or children who have witnessed a violent crime. Basically, we cover 32 counties in Western Kansas. We have 6 nationally accredited child advocacy centers. We have one in Sublette. I forgot to give you my notes. We have one in Sublette, one in Colby. Home office is in Scott. We just opened up Hayes a year ago, February. And we also have 2 mobile units that are nationally accredited child advocacy centers. When we come to your county, to Cheyenne County, we come in the mobile unit. If you'll flip over your thing, that shows you the fleet of our mobile units. We were able to secure a huge grant last year to add more staff. So now we have enough staff to go 3 different places if we have to, wherever the need arises. If Cody has an acute case, an acute rape, then here we come, and we can be here in a matter of hours. So it's kind of a good thing. We do have staff situated in Hayes too. So if we're south, they can come. It's almost the same distance. So we're very, very well equipped to handle what you guys have here. Basically, what happens is when we get the call from either law enforcement or DCF. If there's been an allegation of child sexual abuse or physical abuse, they call us in. We're the experts when it comes to this kind of stuff. Law enforcement has to be trained in a variety of things, from dogs to domestic to traffic to everything. As you well know, they have to know a little bit about everything. Our forte is only how to talk to kids. When we go to court, we do the forensic interviews. Those are mostly, if we go to court, they're shown in court. So you want to be highly trained, highly skilled for that. We've worked with Nicole several times. There's several questions that you can ask, that you can't ask, those kinds of things, and we're versed in that. In your county last year, you guys did have 5 cases that we were called on. If your law enforcement is doing those interviews, which they can, they've been trained to do what we've done. They've been through a 40-hour class where they had five kids. If they came up, if they were interviewing your own kids, they would have done an interview every 2.5 months. So their skill set, their skill level isn't where ours is, where we do 10 a day, that kind of stuff. Plus, they do a 40-hour class. When I stopped interviewing 2 years ago, I had about 600 hours in how to talk to kids. So as you can see, the skill level, the skill set. If the interview is very good, which hopefully it is, my boss is Kelly Robbins. She worked for the KBI for a number of years. So if the interview is very good, then it gives your county attorney more leverage to pull out charges and that kind of stuff. Anytime we can keep those kids off the stand, that's what we want to do. It's not fun testifying. I don't know if you've ever had to. I don't like it very much. Makes me sick to throw up every time. When I walk in and see that perpetrator, I just want to okay, I didn't say shoot him, did I, with law enforcement here?
Understood.
That's probably not that wasn't a good choice of words at all, was it? Anyway, we could not continue to do what we do and bring our services to community and to the counties that we serve without the support and help of our city councils and our county commissioners. So first of all, thank you very much for that as well. That's kind of us in a nutshell. You guys have any questions? Nope, everybody.
Thank you.
And I always bring Cody with me. Cody, you want to hop in here?
I think that it goes without saying that we find their service invaluable to us. We use them, like I said, it gives us technical support, it gives us accreditation when we go to court, we have a testimony, and there's so much more than just the interview and investigation. They are advocates. They do follow up. They stay in touch with the family. They help the family find counseling. They help that victim find a way back to normal, even though there will never be a normal again after something like that, but they find it close as they can. I think it's important. I say this every time because we talk about, success and going to court and testifying. There has been a couple times that CAC comes up here and helps. It does an interview and it helps to exonerate an innocent person. They're very unbiased. I always appreciate their unbiased approach. They don't lead the child. They don't put ideas in the child's mind when they interview. And I have seen it, in a child custody case where an allegation's been made. I've seen them exonerate the suspect through their interview. So to me, when it comes to justice, that's just as important as getting conviction on the suspect. It's just that they're innocent. It's just as important to exonerate them and prove them innocent. I've always come to the commissioners and said, I'm the first one to say, we should support them as much as we can, as much as we can find that we can. Because, like she said, for us, if we had to pay for their service, and I know one time you told me, once speaking, I don't know if I had that number with you, how much it costs for you guys to come to Cheyenne County each time.
It's about $1,700 per child.
Yeah, $1,700 per child. And they did 5 this year in Cheyenne County. So if you round it up to $2,000 a child, that's $10,000 if we had to pay for the service. Instead, we gave them $3,000
right
last year. That's a third of what that service would have cost if we had to pay for it.
And last year you had 19 kids.
19 kids.
Wow. So, we had those numbers earlier. What happened to those?
Did you?
So for the level we're giving, which is 3,000, I believe. Don't quote me, but I think it was 3,000 last year. We're getting a heck of a bang for our buck. For me to train a deputy, and I don't have anybody right now who's trained on the basic of talking to children.
And you're not going to find too many law enforcement people that would be willing to do that.
Yes, and because it comes with all these, to get the basic, and then you have to get more training. You get, like she said, she had over 600 hours in her career.
That's a big investment.
It's going to cost the county that much money anyway to get officers to that point to do it. And they have the equipment. The bus has the video recorder, so that the whole thing is recorded. And the amount of time the child has to testify. And I've never had a child leave the bus that didn't feel safe. Didn't feel good. They create a great environment for children.
Well, it goes back to, let's leave the expertise to the experts in that field. I think we'd be we'd be regretful if we didn't go that way.
Probably one of the biggest things, as Cody mentioned, is the advocacy piece. Law enforcement, they like us to do the interviews because their investigations can start immediately while we're doing the interview. Once the kids leave the bus, we're in contact with that family at least twice a week for the first couple months. Are you okay? Is there anything we can help you with? A lot of times the perpetrator is in the home. Maybe it's the breadwinner. Families need education and resources and that kind of stuff. How are we going to go? What are we going to do? We can help with that kind of stuff as well. Another thing that is happening huge right now is human trafficking. If you were, once again, if you had to send your officers to the human trafficking training, that would also be another cost, which is something that we're trained on as well. Hello, Nicole. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. You guys have any questions for us?
No, I see no reason not to continue the sport for.
Thank you. We appreciate that. We do. What we do, we really do a great service. We really do. Everything we do is for the victims and families. And our reputation really does speak for itself. I mean, feel free to talk to your county attorney, Ms. Romine, or to Cody and everybody that we've worked with, because it really does. Now, sometimes we have no control over the system, but our part in it is usually very, very above excellent.
So is the rest of your budget covered through the state?
We received a huge grant last year from Avoca Trading, and it was about 200 and something thousand. Before that, we were about 39% grant funded. Because of that money, we were able to add the staff to do it, and so now we're about 60%. We do several fundraisers, which a lot of people in your community, I'm very proud to say, are involved with. Nicole is one of our 100 women. Cody's wife is one of our 100 women. One of his deputies is. Several people. That program is, we go around to our 32 counties and we look for between 3 and 5 women in each county to be ambassadors for the kids of Western Kansas, and then they pledge to each raise $1,000 for the kids. So that garners, about maybe 100,000. We have another thing called Diamonds and Champagne, and that just happened the 1st of April. Excuse me, that's our big fundraiser. We have about 250 people come that night. Always sells out. Basically what happens is we have a meal, we have a program of awareness, we try to have one of our victims speak, and then we have a live auction. And Nicole has actually been a speaker representing the AG's office because we worked close with her as well. We have a group of ladies that came up with the Colby Casino Night. That happens usually around February, and they raise about $40,000 for us. We get some help from Dane Hansen Trust. We get some help from Pete Henry Foundation. Anytime we can tap into money, that's what we do because of the cost, $1,700 approximately. No cost. All of our services, we even do therapy as well, and all of our services are at no cost to victims and families. So we really do rely upon the support of people in the community and that kind of stuff.
And here's what I'll say. I mean, from a community perspective, they're incredibly important. One, they give us the best evidence sometimes that we need in a sex case. Two, they provide advocacy services that otherwise I don't know how our county would provide sex victims. They help with witness prep. And I mean, they've been in Cheyenne County helping with that before. But even if we have a case where we end up not being able to file, so we don't have enough there's other issues with the case, they continue to provide services to that child and their family. And beyond that being, one, it's important to the family and the victim for recovery, but two, without counseling, even when we do file a case, to me, my experience has been the greatest predictor of a child being able to successfully testify in a way that is, I don't want to say untraumatic, because that's not possible. The least traumatic is to get services. But beyond that, I teach with them.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's the other thing is I think they've probably upped the competency level and awareness level on how to make sure that we not only investigate these crimes properly, but prosecute them properly while respecting victims and victims' rights. So, I mean, that's the part that I didn't want to highlight. I mean, they are respected across the state. And
obviously, they're a valuable resource. So.
Thank you. And you never know when something's going to happen in your community. We were just involved in a case in Waukene. I don't know if you've all heard about that, but this gentleman owned an antique store, and he hired kids and stuff to come in. And we took both buses up for 3 days and interviewed many kids. We had lots of disclosures. Perpetrator decided to roll the dice. He took us to jury trial. Kids testified, did an amazing job. We provided expert testimony. Our interviewer as well has to testify. The interview was played in court. The jury convicted him So it's sentencing. Of course, defense attorney, that's their job. And so he wants to get the less possible, amount of sentencing that he can. So he's standing up and saying, we guarantee that he will not be around kids. He won't be near kids. He won't be, all this stuff. And bless the judge's heart. He said, you know what? He said, you're right. We need to guarantee this man is never around kids. And he gave him 5 life sentences. We were so excited. So, yeah, he will never, ever see light day.
So what actually do you need from us? Anything?
We would love to have 5,000. If you have it, that would be amazing. We're going to continue to do what we do, even if we don't have the support. But if you have extra money, if you find a pile of money out in the yard, please send it in our direction. Because you never know. You just never know when that's going to happen. Also, I probably should. Did you have a notice and waiver? Did somebody send you this? Yeah. Okay. Let me just explain this real quick. This is a notice and waiver. We get to JAG grant, and the JAG grant basically says it's for forensic interviewing, which your law enforcement can apply for. We've done this for years and years, and the grant has always asked that the sheriff and the county attorney sign. This year, for whatever reason, if you do anything with grants, about the time you get them figured out, they change them. So now they want the commissioners to sign. And I'll just hand it to Nicole, that way she can look over it. But it's the same form you've signed. It's the same form Cody has signed. It just shows support because we do apply for that grant. And basically that's all it is. And if I could have you put that on your letterhead and then have the commissioner sign and then send it to me, that would be, send it to the Scott City address. That would be awesome.
And that doesn't obligate us for any finance.
No, absolutely not.
It's just indicating that.
We support that.
It just says that it's okay if we apply for that grant. And all of our 32 counties have to sign or we don't get to apply. So basically it's just a...
So you mean Cody and I don't get to be harassed this year to sign? I'm disappointed. That's like a...
I know, right? That's a yearly thing.
Yeah.
And it has been forever. I can't even tell you, as long as I've been here. So for sure. But anyway. You guys have any more questions for us? Awesome. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your support. We appreciate that. Anything we can do to help, let me know. We'll be here. And hopefully you won't need us, but you probably will. We'll see
Yeah,
you.
unfortunately.
Take care.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Nice to see you again. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you. You have a great day. You want one of these?
When are they going to need that money?
Thank you, sir. Have a great day, you guys.
When is that money transferred?
I think we gave the money under the budget last year, I'm pretty sure. Do you want to hold? And so we'll just need to figure that out for the next year.
Okay.
For our budget.
So we're covered for 2017.
I believe so. Will you check on that though? I'm positive
I'm sure we are.
Okay. And make sure the money actually made it their way. I know we approved that before, but
Okay.
So we need to put it down somewhere I guess it'll be in the minutes.
Yeah.
Because they're wanting, 2,000 more?
Sounds like.
Or asking for 2,000 more.
Well, if they're working that many cases up here, I think we're getting our money's worth.
Oh, yeah, I have no
they're
problem. I
up
have
here
no
more
qualms
than
with
you
it.
guys.
And being from the law enforcement side of it, I wanted no part of those interviews. I was always afraid that I was going to screw something up or I didn't have the expertise to do them. Relying on the experts that know how to do it is important. So,
And this is resolution 1712.
I just, for no more money than we give them now, they can do all of it. That's where I.
It's amazing. Well, I mean, part of it is
I-
they have a lot of
I
people.
thought that maybe they were federally funded or state funded. But
No, I mean, that's the thing is it's just it's a lot of passionate, dedicated people who make a lot of sacrifices and figure out a way to make it work. They're an amazing group of people. If you're ever in Scott City, you should stop by their Advocacy Center there. It's amazing what they do with so little resources.
Yes. They got their money the 1st to the 31st
Good.
of 17.
And was that 3,000? Okay. Yeah, so just make a note for budget time.
Talk to her today sometime.
We already passed that, didn't we?
Yes.
Do you have a wage agreement?
Well, I sent it that way.
I drafted that. I just used what the kind of language we had before and adapted it. $25 an hour, up to 8 hours approved. No benefits is what the wage agreement states.
Okay, Dave, you have some stuff for us this morning?
I'm going to give you my report. I wasn't planning on coming in. It's something that come up.
Didn't have to.
Just had to, huh? At the bottom, you'll see these the quarterly payments that the state does.
Are you gaining on the incorporating the asphalt?
Did you see we completely did that 2 days ago?
Oh, I heard you did.
Yeah.
I hadn't
It's better.
been-
It needs
better
more
for a
rain
day or
on it.
two.
Huh?
Better for a day or two, I think.
It's tried to mat together, but then, man, there was a boatload of them holes, it was showing up about that deep, and it wasn't pretty at all. So,
Did you get rid of the warning boards in it?
I think some of them have come back, but there again, we got to get some moisture to get it firmed up yet. It's sandy base, we couldn't go any deeper, we was pulling up rocks, it was just, them rock ledges in there, it's just a difficult stretch. So,
Well, 30 years ago, we put on about 2 feet of rocks on that.
so you guys are to blame, huh?
Yes, we are.
Are you, I guess I drive it all the time, we got a couple of pretty good potholes in that oil out there just north of Shays a ways. And they're getting bigger.
On the south side of the road.
Yeah.
I seen that this morning. We'll have to wait till we probably get some hot mix plants or something rolling. That works the best for those.
They're getting bigger.
Yep. And the cracks are getting larger.
I mean, those are the only two really bad spots in it, and they're both.
It's right there before that bridge, isn't it?
Yeah.
And when you meet somebody that,
If you get over, you hit a pretty good pothole.
yeah,
Yeah, just about a half mile from the end of it on the south side. Yeah. And it's also starting to break out some. There's a crack going from one side to the other, and it's actually starting to alligator just a little bit on the north side too. So,
that's mainly just our base, right? We can't hold a base under these roads, or,
part of its base, yeah, well,
because I know the state's been fighting several spots that
Yeah.
look just like it.
I question would that happen right away if they didn't have a poor mix in it too.
That old road catches a lot of traffic.
A lot of big traffic.
I mean,
Heavy traffic.
Yeah.
heavy traffic.
Yeah.
They're all distillers in and wet corn out all the time. Steam flake.
and flakers or whatever, taken back out, yeah, loaded the other direction.
So they're loaded both ways.
Yep, that's right. This is coming up for auction. I called this morning and found out, I thought it was two different guys, but what it is, it's a 2017 hydraulic-driven Molson Terracer, 13 foot, just like we have, and was always wanting, but it's hydraulic, where ours are all PTO operated. And
Your tractor's got enough hydraulic
this,
capacity to run
this is a
that?
PTO pump,
No, okay.
plus your other
They
hydraulic.
run another pump.
Correct.
Okay.
He is going, their parts business is going to stay in business, but he said they're not going to make these anymore. So I'd like to put a bid in on this. And then I would auction our other two PTO-driven ones. You know how difficult them are to operate or whatever, drive lines and things like that, so.
They're not maintenance free, we know that.
That's correct. And he said we build them so good, he said nobody's buying them. There's like 1,000 of these single belt and like 1,400 of the double belt terracers. He says nobody's buying them anymore. Thought that's all.
They'll put up a bunch of road.
Yes, they will. Do a nice job, yeah.
The belts are good on it. Or is that a new one?
This is all brand new. It was 28,000. They wanted to sell them for like, I think 5 years ago, and now they're up to 32,
What was the current bid on that one?
3,100.
30.
It's, I mean, it's definitely got to go way more than that, but there's only 5 days left on this.
You know, I think 30 years ago.
Last
they
2
was
days, last 24 hours is when it'll go.
28,000.
Got a lot of things like that.
But the single belt, only generally road departments want them. You know, like your contractors, they want to make a cut both directions, reason they got the double belt.
Okay, I see.
And a lot of them already have them, so we was one of the few, I think, still had the PTO.
So, what are you thinking?
And I doubt if he'd even take it for that, but. But he's retired, so.
They're still gonna have parts for the ones we got.
Yes, that's
You know,
what I
it doesn't-
called. I said, I don't want to be bidding if they're not going to have parts or whatever, so.
Yeah, because I think you go through a belt every year, don't you?
Oh, I'd say every couple of years or something like that, you get something in it, so. Yeah.
Sometimes 2 weeks.
I think you go ahead and pursue that.
Okay. Oh, I think it's going to go more, but anyway, I think it's worth a try, so.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay.
Might as well not miss out if you have the
Yeah,
opportunity.
it's going to end, so, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, I don't have anything to add. I don't have anything new to bring to you.
Doggone it. How's your new four-wheeler running?
Good. We just got it the other day, and I'm trying to get things transferred apart across to it, but no, nothing new for me.
Okay. Got anything else, Scott?
That's it.
I'd like to go to executive session for a little bit on non-certified personnel or not elected.
All elected. Okay.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Right.